Hey guys, so if like me yesterday you were hoping to hear opening statements for Sarah Boone, but good old Sarah, and I'll blame her for it, but it really isn't her fault. We had a lot of audio issues coming from the court where the opening statements were barely heard. So as promised, here is the opening statements from the defense with background noise taken out and his noise, elevate as much as possible. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the defense. It's very clear where he's going with this, and after his opening statement, I'm starting to see why he likes him so much. And I'm starting to see this defense has been forming an actual defense. Do you think Saren's gonna walk on this? Let me know you guys' thoughts.
Florence physically abused Sarah Boone. And she suffered from the effects, the psychological effects that one suffers from repeat violence from an intimate partner. They were together over 3 years, and there were several prior incidences of violence. We've got the photographs. There were incidences where police were called and took photographs. So you're going to be able to see the evidence. And we believe the court will instruct you at the end when you're considering self-defense, which we call justifiable use of non-deadly force or justifiable use of deadly force, that you can consider the prior acts, the history of violence, the prior difficulties that the parties had, in considering her circumstances that she was faced with in making the decision to use reasonable force under the circumstances. We've got the photographs. There were incidences where police were called and took photographs. So you're going to be able to see the evidence. And we believe the court will instruct you at the end when you're considering self-defense, which we call justifiable use of non-deadly force or justifiable use of deadly force, that you can consider the prior act. Now let's talk about this day, February 23rd of 2020, the date of this event. This case has been pending for some time. Here we are, October 2024. I think the evidence is going to show that they had purchased some wine the day before, but they hadn't finished all of that. So it was in the refrigerator. Many times that's how they start their day. At some point, you're going to see a video from Publix. From where they live. I believe it's 1 o'clock. But Publix was not too far from their apartment complex. And they took their car, they drove over there. So you're going to see a video tape from Publix of them both going in the store about noon. And they come out with larger bottles of the wine. And then, of course, there's a receipt. The bottles are in the garbage can. Of course, there obviously is an attraction between the two. And as everybody knows, couples can have great times when things click, everybody gets along, and then we can have episodes of disagreement. And how it is resolved. Really, that's what this is about, how it is resolved. But George was very jealous of Sarah, and you're going to hear the testimonies about that. And that he cannot, in certain situations, he can be very charming. But when his level of intoxication gets to a certain level, is when he gets sad, moody, and a lot of times eventually get involved forcible sex with Sarah Boone, or actual physical violence against her. They bought the wine. It's a simple life. They don't have much money. But they both like art. They did that for a while. They both like puzzles. They did that for a while. Well, about 5 or so, the wine bottle was gone. And George had said, I want to go get some cigarettes. So there's a convenience store right close by their apartment complex. And Sarah thought he was just going to walk over there and get cigarettes and come back. But no, what he did was he got her keys. He got her debit card. And he went over to the Publix and he got another bottle. I think that was about 5, something like that. And again, there'll be a Publix video showing him going in, going out, and he'll be able to see him purchase of that bottle, and then they'll do that bottle. Will be in his own skin, one with the other one. Well, when he comes in with the second bottle, Sarah knows. This is not good. She knows this means he's going to get to another level of intoxication. So, Sarah's concerned. Attempts to placate him, keep him busy, keep him in a good mood. They drink that bottle, but she drinks as well. And at some point, they're intoxicated. At a high level. As some people do when they're drunk, they get sick. And they decide to play a game of hide and seek. She goes upstairs, the bedroom's upstairs, to the shower, and waits for a period of time. And he doesn't come to her. At some point, she gets cold, she gets tired, she wants to go to sleep. Well, maybe we got it mixed up. we're going to see. So she goes downstairs, and they had gotten a suitcase down a week or so ago. It's an old suitcase that they were going to donate to Helping Hands or Goodwill or somebody, and they were putting some items in it. And it's a broken down suitcase. It's a large suitcase. They both weigh about 100 pounds. They don't eat good. Malnourished to a large degree. But I think the evidence is going to show that they had purchased some wine the day before, that they hadn't finished all of that. So it was in the refrigerator. Many times that's how they start their day. At some point, you're going to see a video from Publix, from where they live. I believe it's Winter Park. But Publix was not too far from their apartment complex. And they took their car, they drove over there. So you're going to see a videotape from Publix of them both going in the store about noon. And they come out with one of those larger bottles of the wine. And then, of course, there's a receipt. And the bottles are in the garbage can. Of course, there obviously is an attraction between the two. And as everybody knows, couples can have great times where things click, everybody gets along, and then we can have episodes of disagreement. And how are these resolved? Really, is what this is about. How are disagreements resolved? But George was very jealous of Sarah. And you're going to hear the testimonies about that. And that he cannot, in certain situations, he can be very charming. But when his level of intoxication gets to a certain level, is when he gets sad, moody, and a lot of times eventually it involved forcible sex with Sarah Boone, or actual physical violence against her. They bought the wine. It's a simple life. They don't have much money. But they both like art. They did that for a while. They both like puzzles. They did that for a while. Well, about 5 or so, the wine bottle was gone. And George said, I want to go get some cigarettes. So there's a convenience store right close by their apartment complex. And Sarah thought he was just going to walk over there and get cigarettes and come back. But no, what he did was he got her keys. He got her debit card. And he went over to Publix and he got another bottle. And I think that was about 5:30, something like that. And again, there'll be the Publix video showing her going in, going out, and there'll be a receipt and the purchase of that bottle, and then they'll do that bottle. Will be on skin along with the other bottle. Well, when he comes in with the second bottle, Sarah knows this is not good. She knows this means he's going to get to another level of intoxication. So Sarah's concerned. He attempts to placate him, keep him busy, keep him in a good mood. They drink that bottle. You can hear from the medical examiner. She is going to tell you about some bruising on George Torres. Of course, he was in the suitcase a while, deceased, we believe. And that changes things a little bit, as the medical examiner will explain, but there's some bruising. Sarah's going to explain that to you. Why that happened? What were the circumstances surrounding that? Involving that. Her son comes and stays with him from time to time. He has his own room. He has several of his things there. And there's a bat downstairs. The same bat that George Torres used, and there's a video where George is threatening Sarah. And he's swinging the bat at the TV as hard as he can. And he does it about 6 or 7 times. You'll see it. Sarah's recording it. And it's during an argument. And he's trying to intimidate. Sarah loves you. You gotta hear why women don't believe. Why women don't believe. And you're gonna hear about Sarah Boone and her struggles. Her mental health struggle. Sarah had no significance. Prosecutor mentioned she wanted him to die. Farthest from the truth, she loved her man. She hated the abuse. She couldn't wait. She tried. She tried taking him out 6 or 7 times. He kept coming back. She changed a lot. He kept coming back. She didn't have the family. She didn't have the support. She was weak, vulnerable. You're going to hear it all. You got to take that all into account to try to understand what happened and circumstances surrounding this tumultuous relationship. Now you can find that Sarah's not perfect. And, she goes, as many of us do when we drink too much, you sleep in. She slept in. 11, 12, 1, somewhere around there. She moseys downstairs looking for George. She thought he was on the computer looking for a job. She looked outside, maybe he's out smoking a cigarette, and she sees the suitcase. She unzips it. She gets him out. He's purple. She tries her best to do some CPR. She freaks out. The only family she's got is her ex-husband. Really. She relies on him. as the prosecutor said, a lot of times she'll flee to her ex-husband's house where her son is at. Lucas, the only thing she knows to do. She's kind of the sheltered daughter when she was younger. She's smart, but she's not worldly. She calls Brian. What do I do? He said, I'm coming home. Please come home. He's about 5 minutes away. And she calls him again within a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm on the way. He gets there. He walks in the foyer and sees his wife. So she called 911. She calls 911 within a minute, too. Detective Rodriguez arrives. They got the body cam now, so it's recording. So you're going to hear Sarah talking. But Sarah's freaking out. Sarah's thinking that I'm somehow responsible. Approach. Eventually, she gives a statement to law enforcement. She gives one to Detective Debbie Rodriguez. Of course, she's not the homicide investigator. She's just responding. She's the first responder. And, they know what to do. They try to assess the situation. They start putting the tape out, and then they call for the homicide investigators to go, which takes a little time. So she gets a statement from Sarah. Eventually, the homicide detectives get a statement from Sarah and one of the unmarked SWAT cars. And it's recorded. You may hear that. And then the next day, they take Sarah's phone. Sarah gives them the phone, signs the consent to take the phone, take it to, they had a phone extraction people at SureSpot where they can take it. They got all the data, all your phone calls, text messages, photographs, videos, all. And they found these 2 videos. Sarah's not aware. She doesn't remember making the video. You can imagine. She gives them the phone. Well, she makes no attempts to do anything other than, here's the phone. So they tell her, you're going to get your phone back tomorrow. We'll bring it back to you tomorrow. Well, they end up having a conversation with the female detective, homicide detective, Costa, is her name. Chelsea Costa. And they end up, Deputy Costa's friend, or Detective Costa's friend, saying, hey, we're not going to bring your phone. I'm not feeling good. Can you come to the sheriff's office? Which Sarah was telling me that was what I was going. That's what they told me. I was going to the sheriff's office for. Well, instead, it was an interrogation. And they were going to arrest her. They made their mind up on it. And they were going to confront her and try to get her to confess based on the 2 videos. And so there's approximately a 2-hour interrogation that was on the 25th. In the afternoon, when she got there, to get her phone, they said, well, we got to come up here and talk to me. And they got her in the room. It's a small room, but it's being videotaped and audiotaped. And it goes on for about 2 hours of them trying to get a confession to her. And it doesn't happen. But Sarah lies. She's scared. She can tell they're trying to get her on this, that this was some kind of intentional act. And it wasn't. So she lies. She's not a lawyer. She doesn't know about self-defense. She doesn't understand she has a lawful right to defend herself. She doesn't understand that she's justified in using the force that she used. She doesn't. I wasn't there. School advisor. No lawyer was there. So she lied. And you're going to hear that. So you're going to have to balance that versus her taking a stand and testifying before you. And we simply ask that you look for the evidence of cooperation of her testimony. So it's going to be later, probably next week. The judges will tell you in written instruction on evaluating a witness's credibility. And they'll talk about wobbles to other evidence that's consistent with the testimony that Sarah Boone did. So you're going to have to weigh that in her testimony. Now, self-defense, we talked about it in jury selection, using a gun, some deadly weapon. The suitcase in this case was a physical restraint or a blocking of an attack, but it was unconventional. Self-defense, nonetheless. Now, as I said, the struggles that occurred, many of them involved police. So you're going to actually hear from some of the police officers. Maybe some body cam footage. You're going to see some photographs that they took of the injuries to Sarah Boone. And some of the videos you may see of her in a very happy, joyful type of thing. Well, number 1, she's intoxicated. Number 2, she's safe. Waste of the day. So her attitude is not one of distress. We're here today. It's full, packed courtroom. The train's here. But you're the most important thing. Because you've got to decide this case honestly, fairly, and according to the law. And we talked about the 2 biggest principles from the Constitution that apply. In this case, and in every case in which a citizen like Sarah Boone is brought into a courtroom and accused of a crime. The first is, you as a juror must presume or believe that Sarah is innocent. And that belief stays with you throughout the entire trial. Because of that, she doesn't have to prove anything. That's why the state went first in jury selection. That's why the state went first today. That's why the state will go first putting on their deck. They have the burden of proof. And it's the highest burden we recognize in any type of litigation in this country. Proof beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. You are going to have doubts about this case. But the most important thing is not to rush to judging, to keep an open mind and understand there's 2 sides to this case. There's their side and there's our side. So you can't form any fixed opinions early on. That's hard to do, as Mr. Henderson said in jury selection. That's extremely hard to do. Now, you're going to hear some testimony. There's been mention of experts. Battered women's experiences affect her perception of imminent danger. Battered women's experiences affect her perception of imminent danger. Victims of repeat violence may fear death in a situation others would not. After hearing both sides of this case, we're confident you're going to have a reasonable doubt. We're going to ask you to follow the law and do justice in this case. And find Sarah Boone not guilty, because it's the right thing to do.